Greetings, my friend. DJ Eshelman here, and I'm back. It has been quite the journey, and I'm sure all of three people were wondering what happened to me, but that is okay. We are back at it. Let me give some context. For the last 9 years, I have been looking to serve people in technology and trying to encourage their growth in their careers and just trying to get to a place of encouraging the next generation. And there's been some great things along the way. I managed to start a community, a very small community of Citrix folks back in 2018. Sorry, getting my timelines mixed. Blog was before that, but it didn't really do much. And you know what? The honest truth is the community didn't do a lot either. However, it did make for some great lessons that I was able to put into a book called Be a Citrix Hero. That book still continues to sell today, which is kind of amazing. Who knows? Maybe I'll finally get the gumption to update that for 2025. But in any case, that was a good launching. And then my next book, Just Do This, A Simpler Way to Succeed in IT, was really the one that I was wanting to take off. That one is the one I cared more about, to be honest with you, in terms of encouraging people in growing their careers and not just making more money, but having more peace in their lives and actually being able to be taking time off and not worried about it. And so that book is really centered around that. Over the next few years, launching Thrivecast here on YouTube and doing lots of workshops and things like that, the momentum just has tanked. And the book is, honestly, it's not selling anymore. I have lots of copies of it in my garage. Talking to other authors I know, that's not unusual. But at the same time, it is very discouraging. And so in 2023, I went through a period of depression that I was able to get back from, and then went through a period of loss with losing my dad. It had an end effect in 2024 of realizing that I had put way too much stock into all this and was facing some financial issues that caused us to have to sell our home and move. Why am I telling you all this? That's because I don't want to paint a rosy picture of what it's like out there. But I can tell you that there's always something to fall back on with this. And that's exactly what I did. As I said, okay, well, let's go back and do some more contract engineering and consulting work. And that's exactly what I did. And all of a sudden, right back up to where I was, And so that's one of those things where I was encouraged by that. And so what I did was I started a new podcast called How to Thrive in IT. I don't know what I was expecting out of that, but it got to be the point where I think I was taking on too much with it and was getting a little bit discouraged by the results. Honestly, I don't know if that's fair. If I think about it, like if a podcast episode has 200 people that download it, could I fit 200 people in my house right here and have them listening to me right now? No. So is that a cool thing to know that 200 people were able to listen to it? Yeah, that's kind of cool when you think about it in those kind of ways. But in terms of what I could afford to literally spend on it, I had hired an editor and we were working through that to make it the highest quality thing I could, and found that really it didn't really move the needle on its own. So I decided to pause that. I have many episodes that are yet to be released. They're recorded, even edited in some cases, but I'm waiting for the right moment to go into season 2. And the reason is when I got back into doing consulting work, I realized something immediately. And that was that it's not that I don't enjoy the work. It's that I have a sense of purpose that's not being fulfilled in that. I really want to leave the world better than I found it. And in order for me to do that right now, what I feel very called to is helping people to lead, to advance, to get into places where they're very happy and they feel like their talents are being lifted up and doing more towards an actual purpose in your life. That's my passion. That's where I am lit up when I start talking about it, when I start doing things in that realm. I'll be completely honest with you. It was starting to feel like maybe information technology was not the place for me to be doing that. And so I looked into my options and landed on being a certified coach, speaker, and training with John Maxwell's leadership team. And so I achieved that certification in March. And I also am part of their mentoring group, which helps people grow their leadership-based businesses. And the more I was interacting with people and mentors and folks like that, the more they were saying, look, you've got an audience already. What's wrong with just serving them? I had made all sorts of excuses like, oh, I'm not sure anybody wants this. I'm not sure it's really for them. I don't know if they are ever going to want to invest the time required to grow. And that is a very awful thing for me to even thought, because almost like within the week, I had somebody drop me a message, and sorry, this is actually somewhat emotional for me. And they told me how much what I'd done had helped them. So I was just broken by that. And I knew there had to be a way. What I'm focused on now, obviously there is some content coming, and I've got some additional coaching happening on what will happen here on YouTube. But I just wanted to say thank you for all of you that are still participating and still encouraging me. That encouragement right now means a lot because it's very difficult. But I will say that in looking back and some other advice I'd gotten, there are some things that I am shifting. What you'll see is a shift more towards answering questions. My goal is to have 52 questions, a list of them, and then I'm answering those questions about people's IT careers, about how to lead in IT, and whatever topic that looks like. I want to have all those being answered every single week for you. And so that is the core. Beyond that, what's on my heart about IT? And I said this in a podcast, but just to reiterate, I'm seeing a gap in IT team leadership and beyond. I'm seeing that is starting to become more stressful than I've ever seen it in my entire almost 30-year career. I have never seen a time where people are so reticent to become a team leader. Honestly, I was thinking about this morning. It might have been 4 a.m., but I was thinking about it nonetheless this morning, that every time that I've been put into a leadership role, I didn't ask for it. Literally every single time. One, I was recruited into when I was a director of technology here in the Nashville area. I was recruited into that, but I was very reluctant to get into that because of some of the dramas that I'd had in previous leadership experiences where I got press ganged into being a leader. It dawned on me this morning, how could I think about leaving people like that behind? Because that's so many people right now. So many people are in that position of being put into these positions and not knowing what to do about it, and feeling like they're alone, feeling like they're isolated, feeling like I did, where it's just like, how am I ever going to figure this out? This is not something that comes naturally to me. I want you to hear me on this. Leadership doesn't come naturally to anyone. Leadership is taught. Leadership is not something where you either have it or you don't. Leadership is something where you just have to have a desire and a level of caring, and that's where leadership can be taught. Isn't that cool? So we don't have to worry about having it all figured out. We don't have to worry about it being natural to us. All we have to worry about is being willing. That is my purpose, and that's why I signed up with the John Maxwell team. I'm happy to announce that I have a lot of resources that I can now bring to bear on this. What I'll be doing is, instead of focusing on selling you something or whatever, that's not really what I'm interested in going forward. What I am interested in doing is helping you to utilize the resources that you might have at your company, or figuring out other ways to do it where you can be equipped to lead. Because honestly, the other thing I'm seeing is I'm hearing story after story after story of people that are in positions like HR that tell me that what's been happening with companies is that they offer training and budgets for training and all these kinds of things that to their employees, and the employees don't take it. So I'm going to be wanting to step into that gap and say, okay, how can we work together to figure out a way where I don't go broke like I did, and you can have some success, not just from what I've learned, but also from the master of leadership, John Maxwell. That's my hope. That's where I'm going. I just wanted to record this video to let you all know my direction and my purpose, if you will. So what I'm going to encourage you to do, since you've watched this long and you obviously care, is to find a link in the description below. There will be a way for you to engage with me, to ask your questions. I want at least 52 just for this year alone in 2025 when I'm recording this. I want more later. But for now, that's what I want to see. I want to see lots of your questions. Don't be shy. Anything that you need to bring up, feel free to. I do have a few questions I'll be able to start with. I don't have a launch date for when we're doing this specifically. Like I said, I am engaging with a team on restructuring YouTube. I have a lot of questions myself about how can we do this better? How can we make this to where not only people are finding it, which has been a challenge, but that you are served at the maximum level. So that is my heart. That is where I'm at. I think hopefully it was helpful to you to have heard all of this from me and to know that I haven't abandoned you. I'm back and better than ever. We're strengthened, we're encouraged, and we're here for you. Time to thrive in IT. See you later.